Hello, friends. Happy 5 Minute Friday. I am Dr. Holly, as you well know. And today's topic may be a little charged, but I'm not aiming to be controversial here. So, the title of my newsletter this week is "Should Women Be Paid More in Chiropractic, or Should Women Be Paid More in this profession?" Okay, and you may be thinking to yourself, "Well, why?" I know there is a lot going on in the world with current events, everything that we've gone through in the pandemic in the past 18 months, coming up on 2 years. It seems so crazy. But if you're fairly aware of what's been happening in the more of the global workforce, especially in the US, is that a lot of the brunt of this pandemic has been on the backs of women because of everything that's gone on with education and school closings, et cetera, et cetera. The stats are that a lot of this has forced women out of the workforce. And I know that myself in particular, with my family situation, that yes, if something happens with the kids, I am the default parent to take on the responsibility of figuring out what's happening with the kids and their childcare, and making my schedule adaptive to the needs of the family. And I know a lot of women do this. They do this naturally. They do this instinctively. But what I want to share with you today are just some quick stats on women in general, not just women in this profession. There is an unverified statistic that's been around for a couple of years that say after 5 years in practice, that 80% of women graduates in the chiropractic profession are no longer practicing, which is a shame, if you ask me. So what can we do to change that? I posted on social media this week something along the lines of women are underpaid in this profession, and why is that? And it's not just because their bosses suck. A lot of times it's actually that they are their own bosses and they are afraid to pay themselves more because women naturally prioritize taking care of everybody else before they take care of themselves. Okay. And it's just what happens. It's just our natural tendency. I'm not sitting here telling you that this happens to every single person in every single scenario. We can definitely come from different money mindsets and family of origin backgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to plant the seed or plant this idea in your head and give you some stats to back it up. So my friend, Annette Delancey, has a business, Till Business Do Us Part. And she procured these statistics. So women in numbers, only 2% of women owned businesses reach $1 million in revenues, and women are almost 2 times more productive than their male counterparts. That's an interesting study. My mind always goes to, how do they measure that? Who do they ask, right? Women entrepreneurs are more likely to fail faster and to scale slower to male counterparts. I think that we're less risk averse, and we are afraid to put ourselves out there, maybe, or to take too many big leaps at one time. Okay, but here's the key point: philanthropy is a big part of our models. Women contribute 6 times more to their local communities in charitable giving than their male counterparts. So when we're thinking about, excuse me, all of the turmoil that's going on in the world today, does it seem misplaced for me to be talking about how to make your business more profitable or how to pay yourself more, given everything else going on and all the people that are struggling? And I very soundly believe yes. Why? Because good people do great things with more money. Okay. So if you are a woman in chiropractic business and you are not paying yourself well, we have to challenge that. We have to fix that. We have to find the reasons why. We have to pay you more, because I know that when we pay you more, you spill in to everything else in your community. You do more charitable giving. You help other children in need. You help to educate your own children and make them great stewards of health and wellness and well-being within your communities, right? So there's anything that I'm like most passionate about, it's making women sustainable in this profession. I mean, just point blank. I want to help more women in chiropractic. And that I just launched my online course. And if there's only one thing that you take away from the online course, which is it's a do-it-yourself course on implementing profit first in your chiropractic business. If you just make your business 1% more profitable and you pay yourself equitably, just having that awareness of how much you pay yourself, how much of the piece of the pie goes to everybody else versus how much comes to you, you can start to naturally make some changes. Okay, so I hope I wasn't too long-winded on you today. My timer hasn't gone off yet, so I'm under 5 minutes. But just take some of these stats and think about them, okay? There's one here that, as women grow, there's my timer. As women reach that $250,000 revenue mark, that they start to falter because growth becomes prohibitive, right? 85% of women-owned businesses have no employees or support staff at all. Okay, I'm not advocating that we do all this work alone, but I will tell you, I actually ran some client profile stats on my roster this week, and the average revenue dollar amount of women that I have worked with this year, is right there at that $250,000 mark. And so there are a lot of growing pains that comes with that, but there's also, like, once you've reached that mark, it becomes vitally clear to you that you have to know how to pay yourself, and you have to know how to be able to sustain this business, because it took a lot of work to get there. It may have taken 5 or 10 years even to get to that point, and you're looking at the future going, is this sustainable? Can I keep it? All right, wrapping it up. Have a good weekend, everybody.